YouTuber Jake Paul's Calabasas home was raided by the FBI, so here's an update on this developing story. I'm Jana Rosenberg.
I'm Gabi Conti, and this is your 24/7 celebrity news. Recently, a SWAT team raided YouTuber Jake Paul's Calabasas home with a warrant. At the time, even TMZ didn't know exactly why the FBI was raiding the content creator's home. The FBI then told the LA Times, quote, "The FBI is executing a federal search warrant at a residence in Calabasas in connection with an ongoing investigation. The affidavit was in support of the search warrant has been sealed by the judge, and I am therefore prohibited from commenting as to the nature of this investigation. We do know there were about 20 people on his property during this raid, and they confiscated at least 5 firearms, one which was leaning against a hot tub and a hammock."
Casual. Yeah, not great. This is not surprising news to me at all. Like when this happened, I feel like everyone was like, oh my God, but I'm just not shocked. Like this is Jake Paul behavior. He's shown it time and time again. And honestly, it's disappointing and it's a bummer.
They definitely made a name for themselves as being like pranksters and like the bad boys of YouTube. But like, yeah, once you get involved with like the FBI, like
that's a big
deal.
Yeah.
That is like not a good look at all. He's been relatively silent on social media. Even his brother Logan, who spoke out about it, will barely tell you anything about what's going on because they legally can't. I have a feeling that that fight in September might have to be canceled.
Me too. I think this is the beginning of a lot of commotion and not great things for Jake. Unfortunately, you know, I wish the circumstances were different. I really do, but
he had the wake-up call years ago when he lost his job on the Disney Channel, right? There were too many complaints about these like loud parties he was having and all that kind of stuff. So then he moves out of LA to Calabasas. He was under fire for having a party during COVID where there was so many people and also a lot of drunk people hanging around heavy like machinery, which is never a good look. And this was after he was already had a misdemeanor for looting the mall in Arizona. Where's the wake-up call? Where is the end of this?
Absolutely. First, many thought this raid had something to do with Paul's misdemeanor from his Arizona mall looting incident from a few months ago. Turns out that charge was dropped around the same time the FBI raided his home. Jake was out of state at the time, and the feds also raided Jake's friend's home in Arizona, who was with Jake during the looting. The FBI then confirmed that the raid of both homes was connected to the Arizona mall looting incident. Arizona dropped the charges so the FBI could take over, the Scottsdale Police Department confirmed. As we report this, the raids are a sign that consequences of Jake's mall looting could turn into something much more serious than just misdemeanor charges. In the year 2020, we make example out of celebrities with all this influence and privilege and power. When they do things like this, it's not like, oh, you're famous, so we'll let you off the hook. It's like, oh, you're famous, you're screwed.
Well, we don't like cancel culture, but I think what it really should be called is called out culture.
Absolutely.
And this is an example of it being called out. No one's saying that Jake Paul is canceled, but we're saying, look, hey, just because he's famous doesn't mean that he should be able to get away with stuff that most other people could not get away with. And it's also a great testament of privilege. You know, we talk about white privilege. Being a white man and also being a famous white man has shielded him from the consequences that if he was a non-famous man, specifically a non-famous black man, could you imagine what the police would do with the mall looting? In addition to the looting incident, according to The Sun, there is also a reported $2 million tax lien that was placed against Jake Paul last year that is still unpaid. So the fact that the feds got involved could be not just the looting, but also having to deal with the money that they owe to the government. A clerk for the Los Angeles County Recorder confirmed that this was true to Newsweek, but would not reveal any additional information. And Paul's reps also have not commented on this. Jake recently broke his social media silence since the investigation. I did see a report that 2 days after the feds raided his place, he posted something about his fight, and then he also posted a picture of him looking terrified with the caption, "Me logging onto social media this week." But Jake had broke his silence. I wish that I had confirmation of this, but I did read it in not one but 2 sources saying that he did it, but with no link to the actual picture. So we're not 100% sure. If you've seen it, let us know. But Logan did speak on it, and we have that information of what Logan did say.
So briefly about it in his podcast, which I'm glad. I think it was the right thing to do. I think he handled it well. I think Logan Paul has come a long way. I really do. You know, again, I'm so glad the world didn't necessarily cancel him after what he did. Yes, it was absurd. No, I do not agree with it at all. However, we watched him grow from that. And we watched him lose a lot of deals, an acting role, and now I feel like, you know, he has it all together. Jake's older brother Logan also spoke about the investigation on his podcast impulsively by saying, "I'll tell you what I know. I know what you know. I know my brother's okay. Physically, he's fine, but I don't know. I'm out of the loop on this one, guys. Yeah, I checked in on him. He's fine physically. It's a bit of a headache. We're figuring it out. The story will unfold, but I want you guys to know that we're here to support Jake Paul, and hopefully this comes out in a healthy, amicable way for all parties. It's mainly my brother. I mean, yeah, what else was he supposed to say? You know, I feel like that was the best thing he could say. It is a stressful situation, I'm sure, for that family. I'm sure it's disappointing for that family. And he has to support his brother. It's his brother at the end of the day. And
if the brother can't speak on it, like he legally can't say. He probably knows more to the story that he can't talk about. The FBI doesn't come raid your home for something small. It's like a bigger thing. Yeah. We've thought that perhaps it's a combination of everything. It's a combination of the raids. It's a combination of the party. Perhaps someone was at the party and saw something at the party that they weren't supposed to see, owing the government $2 million when we're dealing with everything that's going on right now. And he doesn't seem to be struggling financially, at least from the party that he's throwing. And
I'm honestly very interested to see where else the story goes. I am so waiting for the Jake Paul statement that I'm sure we will get as soon as legally he can say something.
Well, and he made a statement about the looting. He denied that he was involved or doing anything, even though there was video where you could clearly see him doing the things.
Deny
so they can't get a warrant without hard evidence. So we know that there definitely is hard evidence against Jake. And I'm sure if you stay tuned, we'll try to keep you updated on this story as we can, that there will be more updates to what exactly is going on. Also repercussions to follow for Jake.
Definitely.
Yes. What are your thoughts about Jake Paul getting raided by the FBI? What are your theories? What do you think was going on? Let us know. I'm Gabi Conti.
I'm Jana Rosenberg, and follow us here at Hollywire for your 24/7 celebrity news.